Tech for Senior, episode 83. It is October the 25th, 2021. We have about 86 people in our Zoom meeting today, which is great. Thank you all for coming, and a bunch over on YouTube. Wow, this is exciting. In the midst of a cyclone bomb. Yes, indeed. For those of you who are on the West Coast, like I am, never before in the history of Pacific weather patterns has this occurred. It is a cyclone bomb that occurred. It occurred here yesterday afternoon around 2 p.m. I've never seen weather like this before. It was weird. Just Bill James and I were talking earlier because of course they get tornadoes in Oklahoma, and it was sort of exactly the same thing. So it's been blowing all night. Seems to be down a bit better now. So hopefully the power will stay on, and we have such a great program for you today. I just hope that we don't lose power. So let's keep our fingers crossed. For those of you who are a bit more further south than us, I was talking to someone from San Francisco yesterday, and they said they're closing the city down. They're worried about a little rain. I said, it hasn't rained there for about a year, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with all the water that's coming. Anyway, welcome everybody to Tech for Senior. As you know, we're broadcasting this here on, of course, our Zoom meeting, but we're also broadcasting it over to our YouTube site. We will be going on for an hour, and then we will have our question and answer period, followed by a brief intermission, and then, of course, our premiere service that we have later at 1:30 the next hour, right? For those of you over on YouTube, we're going to go for about 50 minutes, and then just before the music segment, we will be ending the broadcast. It looks as though I don't know if we'll have enough room for you over here. Anyway, looks like we're filling up pretty fast, so you might want to pop over and see at the end if you want to come over. We'll see what things are like here, because we're sort of maxed out at about 100 people. Anyway, let me introduce everybody today. Let me introduce, first of all, Hewie. Where did you go? There you are. Hi, there you are. We missed you last week. Now, did you like what we did for you?
Oh, that was lots of fun. Yes.
Well, you were feeling a little left out the last time. So we all said, Hewie. We did it, 90 times for you, right?
Yep.
So you felt okay?
I felt great. Yes, it was wonderful.
All right. There you go. Then
I did get a good laugh.
Then Bob was complaining he wasn't here. He said, how come you didn't mention my name? So we're going to have to do something for Bob next time as well. So anyway, hey, listen, did you learn anything about boating, or what did we put the X on the thing, or what did we do?
Yeah, it's just how to use the iPad that they give us to sign people in, and then hand them a ballot. And the precinct I'm going to be working in, there's one item on the ballot, and it's a voting for a millage for the school board. That's the only item there. So really? I have a feeling I'm going to be spending a lot of time sitting there reading or looking at my my phone.
Do you get to keep the iPad?
No. No. We have to turn it back in. And the only thing on the iPad is the software that they use.
Oh, I see. So listen, we got a busy week. What are we doing on Thursday?
I don't know. Are we doing anything? Oh, we're doing we're doing the Tech for Senior live,
right? As
we usually do from 12 to 1, and
correct.
Then we come right back at 2:00 for Learning Chromebook.
Exactly. And how would they sign up for our Learning Chromebook session?
Go to the Tech for Senior website is the best place to go, and there's a link there. It'll take you right to where you sign up. If you're already signed up, you'll get a reminder sometime today, and then you'll get another reminder about Thursday, Wednesday night or Thursday morning, that have the copy of the link, your unique link, so you'll be able to sign on.
Great. So spread the word. If you're thinking about a Chromebook, you have a Chromebook, or you want to get a Chromebook, or you want to just learn some more stuff about it, please come and have a little fun with us on this coming Thursday. We do it once a month, right, Hewie?
Yep. We're going to miss November, I think.
Yeah, we're taking a holiday in November because it falls on Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yep. So if you're interested in Chromebooks, you want to come this Thursday because you're not going to get another one until the end of December.
Right, right. So I have to think about that. All right, and Bob, how are you doing? You're here today. You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing around?
Well, mix up in the schedule, so it's fine. I have you now, and then I have the other one that starts shortly after I finish this one.
Okay. All right. Well, that's nice to see you. When
Yeah.
I missed you last week. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
that's
been
great.
a busy weekend for me. So
Exactly. And Dewey, how the heck are you doing? You got a bunch of phones behind you there. Unmute yourself. Hit the space bar and unmute yourself. Dewey, unmute yourself. There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
I'm doing fine.
Oh, good. How come you got all those phones behind you?
Well, I'm doing a little report today, actually a pretty good sized report on the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, and you're going to be able to know exactly the differences between the two before you put down your big bucks.
too late.
Except it's too late for our good friend Bob.
Yeah, he's already blown the wad, I guess. Eh? Well, thank you so much for doing that. That's great. Ray,
Hey, good morning.
how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Are you getting bombed or anything? Or
No,
what's
and
happening down in Arizona?
normally the weather that hits California ultimately comes a little bit east and hits us. But no, it's a day, it's already 70 degrees out and it's beautiful.
Cool. All righty. Excellente. Well, that's good. Well, we have and Bill James, did you have anything you want? Sorry, Bill, I didn't mention. Welcome to Bill. What do you have?
Nothing's going on here.
Nothing going on here?
Nothing going on here.
All right. You're probably ordering something. I see you're working on your iPad there. You're probably ordering something on Amazon, right? All right, that's
I'm
good.
looking at the Wise stuff.
All right.
Tomorrow is Wise Week.
Wise Week. All right, we'll see. Well, I wonder if it's available in Canada. They were going to open up their Canadian store this when they got their big cash infusion. So I should check and see if the stuff is coming on that. That'll be cool.
I have another vacuum cleaner, Ron.
Yeah, I got 3 of them. I got a fleet of them. But I'm having lots of fun with that. I'm actually going to be on the Michael Daniels show in a couple of weeks, and I'm talking about vacuum cleaners. Now, can you? How does a tech guy get to talk about vacuum cleaners? But anyway, I'm becoming the vacuum center cleaner guy. Anyway,
there.
we have.
Yeah.
Let me just mute this here.
I've taken care of.
Okay, great. All right. So listen, before we, Dewey's, of course, going to give us a big talk on the big news this week was, of course, the Pixel phones that came out. And Dewey's going to do a great job today talking about the Pixel phones. But I wanted to just give everybody, put this in perspective, all right? So Google sold with the last series, the Pixel 5, they sold about 3 million phones, all right? 3 million phones in last year. And with the Pixel 6, they expect to double it. This is really a big thing for Google. They're going to double their sales to 6 million. But I wanted just to let you know, put things in perspective, all right? So it's just so everyone understands. So Apple sold in the United States last year 73.3 million phones. All right. Remember, Pixel's going to do 6 million. And worldwide, if you add their worldwide sales, Apple sold over 100 million phones. Samsung last year sold 384 million phones worldwide. All right. And Oppo, which is another major company, sold 115 million. So even though this is a big announcement and consuming a lot of the news feeds now and is a very exciting time, it is really a tiny segment of the market that we're talking about, which I thought was very interesting based on what Dewey's going to tell us. I wanted to just put everything in perspective based on the amount of phones that are sold. This is usually the time when I say, Bob, take it away, right? But I guess we say, Bob, tell Ron to take it away. Is that the?
Yes, please do so.
All right, we'll do that. All right, here we go. We should be able to find it here.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending October 22nd, 2021. Offline COVID-19 vaccine passport strands travelers. For 4 hours on October 13th, the COVID-19 pass system used by England's National Health System went offline, stranding travelers at airports around the country who needed to show digital proof of their vaccinations to board their flights. The NHS acknowledged the outage, but not the cause, tweeting, "There are currently issues with accessing the COVID pass on the NHS app and website. The offline pass system caused chaos and delay at the gates of many airlines. No system is bulletproof, as we saw a few weeks ago with the Facebook, WhatsApp's, Instagram outage," commented Avast Lewis Carones. "That's why it's important not to rely exclusively on online services. For example, in this case, you are given the option to download the certificate in PDF format, which you can either print out or save on your phone. The UK is just one of many countries that require vaccine passports in order to travel. For more on this story, see Ars Technica. CryptoROM scams 1.4 million from iPhone users. A cryptocurrency trading scam detected in May of this year, exclusively targeting victims in Asia, has expanded its operation to target victims in Europe and the US as well, and has raked in 1.4 million already. Researchers have dubbed the thread CryptoROM because the attackers lure their victims by posing as potential romantic interests on social media and dating websites such as Tinder and Grindr. Once the attackers make contact, they begin a social engineering campaign to convince the victim to install a phony cryptocurrency app on their device and begin investing cash. For more, see Cyber News. Widely used consumer stalkerware has dangerous flaw. A security issue in an unnamed consumer stalkerware puts the private data of hundreds of thousands of users at risk. Anyone exploiting the flaw can easily access call records, text messages, photos, browsing history, and location information from individual phones. TechCrunch reported the story this week, but will not print the name of the legal spyware until it can reach the developer for comment, which it hasn't been able to do. "We can't name the spyware or its developer since it would make it easier for bad actors to access the insecure data," read the report. Magnitude EK targets Chrome browser. In looking at the latest iteration of the Magnitude exploit kit, Avast found that the attack mechanism has added exploits that target Chromium-based browsers. EKs are applications installed on websites that then detect visitors' browsers and launch exploits to infect their systems with malware. Usually EKs only attack Internet Explorer users due to the simpler security defenses, but Magnitude uses a combination of exploits to attack. This same earlier this year in a cyber espionage campaign called Puzzle Maker. For more, see the record. Massive campaign uses YouTube to push password-stealing malware. Widespread malware campaigns are creating YouTube videos to distribute password-stealing Trojans to unsuspecting viewers. Password-stealing Trojans are malware that quietly runs on a computer while stealing passwords, screenshots of active windows, cookies, credit cards stored in browsers, FTP credentials, and arbitrary files decided by the threat actors. When installed, the malware will communicate with the command and control server, where it waits for commands to execute by the attacker, which would entail the running of additional malware. Google told Bleeping Computer that they are aware of the campaign and are taking actions to disrupt the activity. For more on this story, see Bleeping Computer. Fraudsters swindle 35 million using deep voice AI. According to court documents unearthed by Forbes, bad actors used AI to deepfake the voice of a company director in order to trick a bank manager in the United Arab Emirates into authorizing transfers totaling $35 million. The authentic sounding voice on the phone told the bank manager that his company was about to make an acquisition and that the bank manager should see emails discussing the deal in his inbox. The bank manager believed everything was valid and proceeded to make the transfers. Forbes reported that the UAE believes the scheme involved at least 17 individuals who sent the pilfered money to bank accounts across the globe. Facebook is planning to rebrand the company with a new name. Facebook is planning to change its company name next week to reflect its focus on building the metaverse, according to a source with direct knowledge of the matter. The coming name change, which CEO Mark Zuckerberg plans to talk about at the company's annual Connected Conference on October 28th, but could unveil sooner, is meant to signal the tech giant's ambition to be known for more than social media and all the ills that entail. Facebook isn't the first well-known tech company to change its company name as its ambitions expand. The new name is currently a well-guarded secret. Zuckerberg should be announcing the name for this new metaverse at the upcoming annual Connect conference on October 28th. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. Think your kid is always online? You might want to talk to Grandma. According to a survey, 43% of Americans between the age of 18 and 25 use social media multiple times per day, compared to 55% of people ages 66 to 70, the highest percentage across all age groups. For more details, follow the link below. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bob. That was good. Good talk. I had an email yesterday from my bank saying that my email address, confirming my email address had been changed. And upon calling the bank, it was, of course, a phishing expedition. I commented at the bank, though. I said, "How come you dummies don't use two-factor authentication?" And he said, "Sir, we know who you are. When you dial a phone, we do voice authentication. We have your voice print on file. We know exactly who you are long before you ever get here." So I thought, "Oh, okay, all right." So anyway,
but that doesn't protect you.
Yeah.
Whereas two-factor would.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's get on with it. And I am so excited to listen to Dewey's talk today. Maybe he's going to convince me to spend $1,000. We'll see. I hope not. Anyway, we'll see what happens here. Let me get going here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, details and differences. Phone junkies everywhere were aflutter last week about Google's Pixel 6 launch event on October 12th. Loud hallelujahs were heard rejoicing that the Pixel 6 starting price was just $600, $700 Canadian, and there was muted wondering if an extra 3 Ben Franklins, or 4 Bordens if you're in Canada, was worth it for the Pixel 6 Pro. Andrew Heinzman's article at reviewgeek.com last week provides a starting point for finding out what's really new, innovative, and special about these phones. Then I'll be showing you every one of the differences between the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. So here goes. It's farewell to the Snapdragon processor and hello to the new Tensor processor that's putting Pixel 6 phones in a class by themselves. Google claims that its Tensor chip is 80% faster than Pixel 5 Snapdragon 765G processor. Google developed Tensor processor from the ground up. It's a revolutionary chip that improves artificial intelligence performance and unlocks new features on the Pixel 6 phones like Live Translate, which translates as you type. Can you believe that? Faster voice to text, computational photography that gives you better than ever quality photos. Perhaps as revolutionary as Tensor's blazing speed may be its impact on the smartphone market. Smartphone makers who've tired of working with Qualcomm may now be inspired to design their own processors, a move that could break Snapdragon's stranglehold on Android devices. Andrew Heinzman muses that Google's timing is impeccable because it's just a day earlier, Apple announced the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, two processors that will put Intel to shame. It's looking like phone makers are jumping Qualcomm's and Intel's ship, doesn't it? Both the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro have a similar design and build. The Pixel 6 Pro is bigger, and there's a third camera sensor on the back. The display on the Pixel 6 Pro is slightly curved around the edges with thinner bezels. And the Pixel 6 Pro has a stainless steel frame compared to the Pixel 6's aluminum frame. Snow Cone, the dessert name for the latest Android 12 operating system, will initially be exclusive to the Pixel 6 phone, reports CNET.com, who also gets the credit for my background today. Let's take a look at specifications for the more costly Pixel 6 Pro compared to its less expensive sibling, the Pixel 6. By my count, specification sheets for these two phones have 36 different categories. Specs for the Pixel 6 Pro and Pixel 6 are identical in 24 of these categories. I'll show you each of the 12 different categories next. For your information, my sources for the specifications were gsmarena.com, phonescoop.com, and google.com. I'll try to take it a little slow because this is a lot of data and a lot of information in a small amount of time. On the display of the phones, Pixel 6 Pro has a 6.71-inch LTPO OLED screen display that's 1440 by 3120 pixels, 120 hertz refresh rate, HDR10 plus, compared to the Pixel 6 with a slightly smaller 6.4-inch OLED screen, 1080 by 2400 pixels, 90 hertz refresh rate, and of course, also having HDR10 plus. Now that's three categories already: size, pixels, and refresh rate. By the way, LTPO stands for low temperature polycrystalline oxide and describes a type of backbone technology for OLED displays. Don't ask me to explain it, that's way above my pay grade. On the phone backside, Pixel 6 Pro has Gorilla Glass Victus, which is the premium, compared to Pixel 6, which has what is called Gorilla Glass 6. Main camera. Pixel 6 Pro has an extra 48 megapixel 3.5, it's a telephoto lens, camera with OIS. Now OIS is optical image stabilization, the image stabilizer. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. Front camera, it's a pixel on the Pixel 6 Pro, it's 11.1 megapixels, f2.2, 20 millimeter. It's ultra wide. See that? Ultra wide compared to the Pixel 6 with 8 megapixel, f2.0, 24 millimeter, and just a basic wide lens. Front video camera. The Pixel 6 Pro has 4K at 30 feet per second and 1080p resolution at 30 or 60 frames per second compared to the Pixel 6, which is 1080p at 30 to 60 frames per second only. I'm going to just pause a minute and let you study that sheet. Okay, we'll go on. Storage, which is memory. The Pixel 6 Pro offers an additional 512 gigabyte option. Don't find that in the regular Pixel 6. Battery. Pixel 6 Pro, it has a slightly larger battery, a little bit beefier charging system, but it's a larger device. So consequently, I'm not going to give an edge here. I think it's a toss-up. Colors. The Pixel 6 Pro offers 3 colors. The Pixel 6 has 2 colors. I believe that the 2 colors are the same as 2 of the 3 colors in the Pixel 6 Pro. In RAM, the Pixel 6 Pro has 12 gigabyte of RAM, and the Pixel 6 has 8 gigabyte. Let you pause for a moment, look at that. Weight. Pixel 6 Pro is 7.41 ounces, 211 grams. Pixel 6, 7.30 ounces, 207 grams. Now that's remarkably similar in weight, only 0.11 ounce difference. It must be that Gorilla 6 back on the Pixel 6. I don't know what else would account for it because it's a larger phone. Special features. The Pixel 6 Pro has ultra wideband support. Pixel 6 does not. So what is ultra wideband support? Ultra wideband in phone, here's the answer. Ultra wideband in phones and devices is actually IR-UWB, impulse radio ultra wideband. I'd never heard of that before, but that's what it is. According to a recent article in 9to5google.com, ultra wideband is a radio that allows smartphones to better interact with other nearby devices using the same technology. While ultra wideband has been around for a while, it didn't catch on in smartphones until recently, most notably on Apple's AirTag, also most notably on Apple's AirTag, iPhones 11 and 12, Samsung Galaxy S and Fold series phones, and even the Apple Watch 6 and Watch 7 have ultra wideband. Can you believe that? Ultra wideband is complicated and not related at all to 5G or Verizon's so-called ultra wideband. It's not even cutting edge stuff. In fact, its roots go back more than 100 years, but that's another story that involves spread spectrum and the actress Hedy Lamarr. Are you amazed? That redhead actress Hedy Lamarr, according to one thing I read this last week, she had the same, or literally the same IQ as Albert Einstein. Getting back to UWB, its accuracy is uncanny. It can indicate direction and determine distance within a couple of inches. It consumes less battery power than Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and is increasingly being used with lots of Internet of Things devices. We're sure to be seeing more of flagship phones with ultra wideband in the future. One downside of ultra wideband connectivity is that it can even expose users to targeted advertising. Perhaps this is the reason that Apple added an option to disable its ultra wideband chip. Ultra wideband in the Pixel 6 Pro can only be disabled by switching to airplane mode. I looked it up and found it in Google. Now, you're probably wondering, what about 5G, cellular 5G? Well, as for cellular 5G, Pixel 6 phones will support virtually any flavor of 5G. So that's good news. But there are different carrier options, or versions, I should say, of Pixel 6 phones, tailoring that support according to the carrier's needs. Now, that isn't saying very much about 5G, except you don't have to worry. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. And even though I'm a Samsung Galaxy phone guy, I'm sticking with this one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Well done, Dewey. Well done. I don't know. I'm still not convinced. We'll see what I like. Bob spent the money. We'll just let Bob do the videos, eh? All right. Listen, we got to move on. I'm coming up to my next segment. This is my final video on the Galaxy 4. watch. This is a culmination of 4 other videos I've made on this, and it is the final one. So it's out. It was released last week, so I thought I would play it today. So enjoy. We'll talk about it in the, there may be some questions. We'll talk about it in the question and answer part. Is the ECG app going to diagnose your heart attack? Is the emergency notification going to get an ambulance to your place? And is the watch going to get you to the hospital on time and save your life? Well, let's watch the video and see. In this video, I'm going to explain 5 medical features on the Galaxy Watch 4 to help you make a purchase decision. I'm going to look at fall detection, ECG cardiac monitoring, blood pressure, oxygen sensor, and sleep assessment. Let's have a look at this. Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. I'm going to give you a physician's opinion on the Galaxy Watch 4. A little bit different twist. I'm going to look at 5 health features evaluated from a physician's point of view. A little bit of a twist here. I'm going to talk about what the feature is, how does it work, and what's my medical point of view as a physician who has practiced for the past 40 years looking after folks like yourself. So I want to give you some information that might affect your purchase decision on the Galaxy Watch 4. So let's have a look at this. And you know the routine. If you like the video, please click the like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. It really does help us. Now, if you're considering purchasing this watch because of fall detection, hold on. Please watch this video. I've made a whole video just on Galaxy Watch 4 fall detection. I'm going to put it in the link below in the description. Please watch the video if you're considering purchasing the watch for fall detection. Now, what is fall detection? Well, fall detection has 2 parts. There's the part of falling, and then there's the notification for someone to come and help you after you've fallen. So how does a watch know that you've fallen? Well, of course, there is the act of falling. Whether you fall, you stumble, or hurt yourself, there's some sort of fall involved. And this is analyzed with what we call an accelerometer. This is a small device. It's a chip in your watch that determines your fall. There's software in your watch that can tell when you've fallen, and there is an algorithm there that determines how the fall has occurred and that it is a serious fall and that you may need help. So after you've fallen, there is emergency notification, and this occurs through your phone, your cellular phone. So your watch is linked to your cell phone through Bluetooth. And after you've fallen, then the second part is emergency notification for help. Now, in the Galaxy Watch 4, there are 2 ways that the emergency notification can be activated. It can be activated manually by hitting the home key 3 times, or the software will detect if you've fallen. Now, your emergency contacts can be set up in 2 groups. One is to send an emergency message to whoever you decide, and the second is to make an SOS call to either 911 or whoever you decide that would be an emergency responder. So you have two people are going to get, 2 individuals or 2 people are going to get the emergency notification. Now, I have some various serious concerns about fall detection on watches, and I've documented those in my video that I've asked you to watch. So please, if you are considering the Galaxy Watch 4 for fall detection, watch my video that is in the link below. Now, most of the information about fall detection comes from the Apple Watch, who has been doing this for a number of years. The information is mostly anecdotal, people writing in saying, it saved my life. But if you're selling 100 million watches a year, we would expect that. So does the technology really work? Well, we don't know. The other problem with the Galaxy Watch 4 is the battery. The battery must be charged on a daily basis. My experience with my Galaxy Watch 4 is that the battery is down by about 70% at the end of the day, and it requires a minimum of an hour to an hour and a half for charging. The Apple Watch Series 7 and the Fitbit Sense both have fast charging. The Galaxy Watch 4 has slow charging, which means for the hour and a half that it's off your wrist charging, you have no protection. Also, you have to remember to put the watch back on. But I guess if you have a fall and the software doesn't pick that up, you can always manually push the home button to get emergency notification. You just push it, is it once? Is it twice? Or do we push it 3 times? Just a minute, I'll have to look up in the manual and remember that. Hold on, if you're up at night, you've had a tragic fall, you've broken your hip, you're in terrible pain, and the software doesn't pick up the fall, are you going to remember that it's 3 taps on the home button to get help to manually set this up? You see where I'm going with this? I think you have to be very selective on the person you're going to use this technology with. There are much simpler alternatives, and let's have a look at that. The Amazon Echo devices can be used for fall detection, as well as Google's Nest. I want you to look at ADT's system. They have a pendant that you can wear either around your neck or on your wrist, just like a watch. Push the button and help will come. This works through your ADT alarm system and is much simpler than the watch technology. Think about this if you're planning to purchase a watch for fall detection. Now, I feel that the ECG app out of all the 5 we're going to talk today about is the most important. I've made a video called Your Heart and Your Watch, specifically to talk to you about this. I'm going to put the link down below. If you're interested in the cardiac app, please watch the video. Now, the ECG app really detects atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation is a condition that's common over the age of 60 and is a major cause of stroke. So this is a condition that people often don't know they have, and we want to diagnose this and get them on treatment to prevent stroke. The Apple Watch, the Fitbit Sense, and the Galaxy Watch 4 all have pretty much exactly the same app. It works the same and detects atrial fibrillation, the details of which I'm outlining in the attached video. Now, it's important to note that the ECG app must be approved in each country the watch is sold, similar to the FDA regulations. Now, the Apple Watch has had the ECG app for many years. In all the countries Apple sells the watch, it has been approved. When the Fitbit Sense came out, it took 4 months before it was approved in the United States, 8 months in Canada, and it still hasn't been approved a year and a half later in Australia or India, which is a big market. The Galaxy 4 watch has been approved in the United States for the blood pressure and ECG feature, but not in Canada or many other countries. So if you are watching this and you're from another country other than the United States, you may want to hold off on purchasing the watch until it is approved. The Galaxy 4 watch takes your blood pressure. Oh, that's so cool. Yes, out of the big 3, it is the only one that takes your blood pressure. Should we be excited about this? It's very interesting technology on how this works, and I plan on doing a video about it. But it is FDA approved. There is valid data to support the taking of your blood pressure with a watch. So the results are accurate and reproducible. Do I think you should run out and buy a $300 watch to take your blood pressure? Well, I don't. I think it's interesting if it gets patients' enthusiasm up and they want to talk about their blood pressure. I think it's great. But is there any advantage in taking it on a watch versus the standard arm machine? that costs only about $50? I don't think so. But certainly if it promotes interest and gets patients enthusiastic about their blood pressure, I'm all for it. But remember, it's not approved in many countries yet. So before you purchase the watch, you may want to check and see if it is approved yet in your country. Yes, the Galaxy Watch 4 has an oxygen sensor. We now can measure the amount of oxygen in your blood. Now, this often is referred to as pulse oximetry, and this has been around for about 40 years. These are often devices that you put over your fingertip. It works by the color difference between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Recently, they were able to make this into a sensor that went on the back of your watch. And now we can detect with the Galaxy Watch 4 the amount of oxygen in your blood. You should note that a pulse oximeter is available on Amazon for around $14. You don't have to spend $300 on a Galaxy 4 watch. This is an example of one I found on Amazon for $13.95, and if you have Prime, it's free shipping. Now, I have mixed feelings about oxygen sensors on watches. Let me give you an example. I'm working in the garden on Sunday afternoon. I'm hot and sweaty, and I push the button on my watch, and it tells me my oxygen is 50. I'm feeling fine. If you are in my intensive care unit and I measured the oxygen in your blood and it was 50, I would be putting an endotracheal tube down in your throat and putting you on a respirator because you would be in very serious health problems. So what does 50 on a watch when I'm feeling fine in the garden mean? Well, it means that the watch is flopping around on my wrist and not giving me an accurate reading, as you will see in the diagram on this slide. This is a friend of mine who had a watch but couldn't keep it too tight on her wrist because it caused some neuropathy in her hand. Can you imagine what the sensor is going to read on a wrist like that? So the readings are prone to error, and you have to be careful with positioning the watch on your wrist. And again, what to do with the medical information. Now, I think this is one of the situations where it could be valuable if you consult your healthcare provider. It may be with all the fires in California this year. You may, if you have COPD, you may be coughing more, and maybe this can be used as one of the tools to decide when you might want to use your rescue inhalers. So this could all be part of a health management program that you could work out with your healthcare provider. I'm very concerned that when we start to use medical information, we get subject to fraud. And we're starting to see, yes, you're not going to believe it, but the old fraud that's been around for 80 or more years, oxygen pills are coming back on Amazon. Also, you're seeing massage therapy devices to help improve your oxygen levels in your body. As my mother used to say, a fool and their money are soon parted. So be very careful with what you do with the results of this oxygen sensor. The Galaxy 4 watch assesses your sleep. Now, this is a big topic, and I've made a specific video on this titled Sleep Track with a Watch, Which One is Best? I've put the link in the description below. If you're interested in getting a watch to assess your sleep, please watch that video. On full disclosure, I purchased out of my own retired money the Fitbit Sense and the Galaxy Watch 4. I wore them both to bed for a week and collected the data. I described my results in the video, and I think you'll find it very interesting. Now, the ability to measure sleep is done with a medical device called a polysomnogram, PSG. And if you look over on the left side, you'll see an individual with all sorts of little stickies on his face, head, and chest. We're actually measuring his brainwave activity. And as a result of that, we can detect how much deep sleep, how much REM, all the different phases of sleep, how many cycles, and what happens at night. So how does your watch measure all that information, because it's not putting little stickies all over your head? Well, it does it with its own sensors. It measures your respiratory rate, your heart rate, the heart rate variability, movement, and temperature. And based on those sensors, it guesses what your brainwave activity is going to be. In other words, it's called an algorithm. And you know, the Fitbit Sense and the Galaxy Watch 4 each have their own algorithm. Now, what is the algorithm measuring? Well, they won't tell us. It's actually a secret. So how well does the watch measure brainwave activity using those features? Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? So I wore a watch on each wrist and went to bed 7 nights. So I measured the total amount of sleep I had each night, and then I looked at how much deep sleep, REM, and all the different cycles there were each night and compared the two watches. So what did I find? Well, let's look at the total amount of sleep I got. Well, it was usually right. If I felt like I got a lousy night's sleep, yeah, it usually told me I got a lousy night's sleep. The amount of hours of sleep varied greatly between the two watches, up to 2 hours. Ooh, that's interesting. And then there was the assessment of the different phases of sleep, the REM sleep, the deep sleep, the sleep cycles that we talked about, and there was no correlation whatsoever. We had completely different results. You wouldn't even thought it was the same person with one watch on one arm and one watch on the other. So which one's right? I suspect if I had yet a third and fourth watch, it would all be different again. And there's no correlation to that EEG. Remember, the one that had all the stickies over the head that's measuring your brain wave. So what are they measuring? How accurate it is? Well, I think there's a lot of hocus pocus here. So what's my opinion? I think if it promotes interest in your sleep patterns, that's great. I think the data is highly questionable and certainly doesn't correlate with the two watches I tested. And maybe sleep patterns measured by a watch are a little bit fictional. I think if it promotes interest in sleep, that's great. A lot of these watches want you to purchase further software to analyze your sleep. And as a result of all the analysis, you're going to come up with the 6 tips from the Mayo Clinic that are free, and I'm going to give them to you on how to get a better sleep. There they are. You can see that. So you can save your money by buying a watch and doing the assessment, because at the end of the day, this is what you're going to come up with. The purpose of this video is to provide information on the medical features of the Galaxy 4 watch. Hopefully this will guide you in your purchase decision. I enjoy my Galaxy 4 watch, and every day I get a new beep that leads me to a new feature and a new adventure. It's becoming a good friend, and I miss it when I forget to put it on. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Now you remember, if you like this video, please like it, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much. Until we meet again, have a great day. All right, Dewey, you're up.
No, Dewey isn't.
Hewie, you're up.
The Starlink report.
This is
The Starlink report.
for October 25th, 2021. I'm Hewie Poplock. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to get the notifications. The first stack of Starlink satellites launched into space in more than 2 months lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Station on September 14th. It marked the company's 22nd launch of the year. It also marked a record 10th flight for this particular first stage booster. SpaceX abandoned a planned launch last weekend of one of its Falcon 9 rockets carrying a batch of Starlink satellites. The launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base would have placed the Starlink cargo into polar or near polar orbits. The launch was set for October 17th. SpaceX has not explained the reason for the delay, and a new launch date has not been released. However, it is tentatively set for October 30th. The big news since my last report concerned William Shatner, the actor who portrayed Captain Kirk on Star Trek. The 90-year-old actor launched Wednesday aboard a rocket and a capsule developed by Blue Origin, the private spaceflight company founded by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. The historic joyride made Shatner the oldest person to reach space. "It was unbelievable," Shatner said shortly after emerging from the capsule. Jeff Bezos' company also has a satellite internet system called Project Kuiper, which he plans to launch 3,236 service satellites in low Earth orbit. However, they have not yet begun to produce them. In Greece, Starlink internet service officials launched in Greece will take place before the end of this month. The Joint Ministerial Decision, JMD, for the licensing of satellite internet systems is now on its way to publication in the Government Gazette. Essentially, the publication of the JMC will unlock the test mode for Starlink in Greece. This will allow a small group of users to use its internet services in the coming weeks. Then, in late November and early December 2021, the Starlink internet hardware will be sent to those who have pre-ordered it. In South Africa, as in many areas in the world, Starlink could serve as the only viable solution to bringing high-speed internet to millions, with consequences in employment, education, and entertainment. Looking at rural South Africa, the implications could be immense. Internet connectivity options and speed within rural South Africa are much more limited than in urban environments. The implication is that for those who can afford internet in rural areas but don't have access to high-speed infrastructure, Starlink could be a strong choice. In Chile, the Starlink received the operating permit from Chilean's Telcom's regulator, the Department of Telecommunications, to operate 5 satellite ground stations, enabling the operator to launch commercial services on a national level. The company's main priority is to first provide broadband in rural communities where terrestrial internet service is unreliable and unavailable. Starlink currently serves over 100,000 users who reside in the United States, Canada, Chile, the United Kingdom, France, Australia, Netherlands, Ireland, Belgium, Switzerland, Denmark, Portugal, New Zealand, Australia, and Germany. Musk recently said that they plan to roll out Starlink service nationwide across the United States by the end of October. Note, still limited by peak number of users in the same area, he stated. This will improve as more satellites are launched. Meanwhile, in the U.S., many people who have reserved their dish and accounts have become frustrated that they have not yet received them. Some have even canceled their order. A survey of 500 people conducted by Review.org has indicated that over half of Americans, 51% to be exact, might switch to Starlink. SpaceX plans to work with airlines to provide Starlink Wi-Fi on commercial flights. SpaceX's Starlink satellite broadband constellation will be capable of beaming internet service to passengers traveling aboard aircraft. "We are talking to airlines about installing Starlink," SpaceX founder Elon Musk said Thursday. And that is our Starlink report for October 25th.
The Starlink Report.
Thanks for joining. I'm Hewie Poplock.
Well, thanks a lot. Ray, I'm going to get you ready to go just before I sign off on our YouTube. So thank you, everyone over on YouTube for joining us today. If you want to come over, we still have some room here on our Zoom meeting. And so I'm going to be ending the meeting on our Zoom session. Ray, are you ready to roll?
I think I am. And the good news for you, Ron, is again a toe tapping day.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Okay, Fats and Friends. So last year, January of 2020, just before COVID outbreak, my wife and I joined 7 other couples for an almost week-long visit to the Crescent City. This was a treat for me as New Orleans has so much influence and had so much influence during the early days of rock and roll, with recognizable recording artists like Irma Thomas, Barbara George, Ernie K. Doe, Lloyd Price, Shirley and Lee, many, many more names also that may not be as well known. My only disappointment was on this wonderful music-related trip that I did not find any meaningful tributes to these rock and roll pioneers that came from NOLA. As an example, a city park and the main airport bear the name of Louis Armstrong, but I could find no sponsored tribute to Fats Domino, who sold more than 65 million records between 1955 and 1960 and had 11 top 10 hits. His first release way back in 1949, called The Fat Man, is widely regarded as the first million-selling rock and roll record. Now, during Hurricane Katrina in 2005, Domino was rumored to have died, as he was not heard from for several days, he and his wife, after the storm struck New Orleans and flooded the area where his home was located. But he and his family were eventually rescued, and it was a dozen years later, in 2017, that he did pass away at the age of 89. Now, many years ago, I became aware of a 1986 concert that was recorded at the historic Storyville nightclub in New Orleans. This performance has been called the jam session of a lifetime, as on the stage at the same time were Ray Charles, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Fats Domino. Additionally, Paul Schaefer hosts the event, which also includes famed Rolling Stone guitarist Ron Woods. At the time, I could not find on YouTube any reference to the concert, so I tracked down the producer and actually had a nice conversation with him on the phone. And after sending him $15, I received in the mail a DVD of the almost 2-hour-long concert. Now you can still purchase the DVD, and it's well worth the price because it has a much better video and audio quality than what is available on YouTube. And the entire concert is available, as I said, on YouTube. Now, the link below for today's clip is over 7 minutes long. So I'm going to show you what I've done, a little bit of video editing from my DVD copy to shorten this.
Wow.
Was that toe tapping enough?
Oh, that's great. Oh, man, that was
amazing.
That was really good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Call that fantabulous.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Thanks so much, Ray.
I'll put the link in the chat box in a minute.
Yeah, thanks.
For the memory.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks. That was
I
great.
saw that live on TV when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm older than dirt.
All right, listen, you know what? We're 5 minutes past the hour. We've actually gone over. Sorry, I was blabbing on and on there for a while. Listen, if you have to go, that's great. We're going to move into the question and answer period now. But I just want to let you know that at half past the hour, our YouTube premiere version of this will be it will be, what was it? It would be 31A, which is the Tech for Senior 31A. It's in the abridged form of our episode 31. And in it, we've got 3 of us talking. Well, there's actually going to be 4 of us talking. Dewey's going to be talking on print friendly. Remember that one you did on print friendly, Dewey? You're going to be
I'm
talking
still
on that.
using the
Yes, I
program
do.
because
Yes,
of it.
I do.
Yeah, I use it every day. So thanks a lot. We're gonna, your episode on print friendly will be there. And of course, Bob and I talked on browser hijackers. So it was a Ron Bob thing. We did a tag. You remember that when we did the tag team on browser hijackers? Yeah. So that's a pretty cool one. And Hewie, do you remember when you did removing backgrounds? I use that all the time as well. You did that show on removing backgrounds. 3 popular topics. They will be starting today at half past the hour.
Can't wait to do that on my Pixel 6.
Yeah, we can't wait either. Let us exactly. So I want to thank everyone for coming. And certainly I think it was a great show today. Thanks everybody for contributing. We're going to move into the question and answer period now. If you have any questions, as you look down on your menu at the bottom, you'll see under reactions. If you click on that, you will pop up to the top when you raise your hand, and you can ask a question. I just have one comment to make before we get in. and I wondered if you could help me. The video, of course, that I made today on the Galaxy Watch 4 is same philosophy as I did with the Galaxy or the Fitbit Sense. The Fitbit Sense has had over 60,000 views now and is going up exponentially. So it's well on its way to, really doing very well. I'm hoping that the Galaxy Watch 4 one will do just as well. And you can help me today if you later on this morning, it's on our YouTube feed. If you just go there and like it, if you just play it a little bit, you don't have to play the whole thing, just click like. It makes a big difference if 50 or 60 people go on and like it. Boom, all of a sudden YouTube starts to really promote it. So if that would be certainly a great help to me for doing that. I'm hoping, spent a lot of time. Oh man, I put a lot of work into that video. So hopefully it's going to do great things. So we'll watch and see how it does. Let's talk to Shandon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to know, how does one watch the premiere show that starts after half an hour?
Okay, we showed that earlier. Let me just
you go on your main website and
I'll show you that. I think it's easier if I just show you. Let me just share. Let me just share my screen again, and we'll just share this.
While he's getting that ready, just remember that it is on YouTube.
Right. Right. So if you click, when you come to our website, you see it says live stream right here. You click there, or you can come down here, and this is the big button. And right below here, it says the link. When you click the link, it takes you right to our website or to our YouTube channel. And you see it here? It says TFS31A, right? This is where it's going to be started. Just click this, and it says here, premiere in 21 minutes. So it will be starting in 21 minutes.
Okay. And this is on YouTube site.
Yes, you don't even have to know that. Just go to our website, click the button. It's right on there, and it'll take you right to where you need to go.
Thank you.
Okay.
And it will be available after this.
Yes,
too,
yes,
not just
yes.
at this.
The goal of this, the goal of all of this is that we want to reuse. We spent a lot of time making this material. We don't want it just to sit on the web or on YouTube. We want people to reuse it. So I've cut it up into very bite-sized parts for you to use in your computer club. If you want to download it, you want to use it in any way, we really want you to use this. So all the stuff, all the frills are taken out of it. It's just hardcore stuff that we're going to have there for you, and you can use it for your computer club or whatever purpose you want.
Thank you. You'll do a great job. We enjoy your shows and promote them too.
Well, we're well into our second year, so we've got a lot of stuff on there now, and it's easy to get it lost. And some, particularly today, these are really good. Like Hewie did a great job, Dewey did a great job, and Bob and I had a lot of fun doing that show. That was a great show back in that episode. So anyway, have a look at it, watch it today, and have some fun with it.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Jim. Go ahead. You're muted.
You are muted. You should know that.
Yeah, you should know how to unmute yourself.
Well, the problem is I couldn't untie my hands. I had noticed on the YouTube videos that you've been breaking the subject into chapters or sections.
Yes.
And I was wondering how you did that. I went down to YouTube Studio, but I couldn't find how to do that.
Yes. Okay. That's in actually, if you watch the making, I made a 2-part series called The Making of Tech for Senior, and I describe it in there. Basically, it's not when you put in the descriptions, you put chapters. You need to do it 3 times. You need 3 chapters. You just type the word. You don't have to use the word chapters, but you could use chapters : and then you start with 00.00:00. You have to start with 00:00, and then in the line below you'd put whatever time you want, 01:23, and then type in what you want to say at that time, and then you just go down and you just keep adding them. and then YouTube will make them up for you. That's all it is. You just put, it's just what you just put it in the description. It's not a feature that you actually push a button and it adds it like in YouTube Studio. There's
It'd be nice if
place.
it did that.
Yeah, I know. There's no place in YouTube Studio or no button that you push to make it happen. Okay. You simply in the description start with, you can put any title you want. And under that, you have to start with 00:00. That's the clue for it to start. Okay. And then below that, you can just put whatever times you want.
Okay,
If you use Camtasia, if you use a video editing program that we use, Hewie and I do Camtasia, it does do it automatically for you. But that's another story and another $350 later, right, Hewie?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I started playing with Movie Maker, the old one,
Right.
and got a new version, and it seems to work pretty good.
Sure.
But you put it on when you upload to YouTube, right?
Yeah, and then you figure out where the times are. You make a list of them and do it in the right manner. Then it will automatically make
It'll
them
automatic
links.
version. Now you have to remember, if just go and including the video today. I've been doing this for over a year now. Every single video that we've ever put up on YouTube always has chapters there. So just go down if you want to look at all our weekly shows. If you want to go down and look at Bob or Hewie or whatever, you just click the button and it'll take you right to the spot in the video.
And my videos also have chapters. So for
Right.
each of the topics
Right.
that I discussed
Right.
in the security part.
For those of you maybe who don't understand what we're saying, I should have announced this earlier. If you look at it like a video that we're doing today is about an hour long, maybe you want to just go and watch Bob's segment or Hewie's segment, then you don't have to fast forward or play the whole thing. You just go and look in the description and it will tell you exactly it's a little blue dot and you'll see that and you just click on it and it will take you right to that point in the video. So you don't have to watch the whole thing or fast forward.
Is it searchable?
No, but YouTube, there was an article last week that YouTube uses this as a defining search strategy when it's creating the algorithm for your video, is it looks at the chapters and what's in the chapters. So people who are making a lot of videos, you really want to put chapters in because it's going to increase the search ranking on your video. So it's important to put it in.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm just using it for when I record a presentation at the club.
Right. Yep, that's great. Yep, do it. But you remember, you got to put at least 3 timestamps in. If you try it with 2, it won't work. I think it's 3 or more you have to have.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions? So what did everyone think of my watch video? It was a lot of work to make that darn thing. So hopefully any watch questions?
I think I'll keep watching.
Well, it's funny, particularly with the sleep, I thought, gee whiz, people are spending all this money on a watch. They're then doing all their sleep analysis. Then and a lot of times particularly with Fitbit Sense and to some degree the Galaxy Watch, they want you to sign on for an ongoing subscription fee to continue monitoring your sleep, and then they do sort of an analysis for you. Well, it doesn't matter how much they do. At the end result, you're going to come up with those 6 things that are on the Mayo Clinic. They're all going to lead back to those 6 items because there really aren't a lot more. So they're all going to lead back to one of those causes. So anyway,
I guess Wise has their own method of determining, because she also has it on this watch.
Right.
And it was only $25. So
I know, but they're all going to tell you, look, if you have too much alcohol, you're not going to sleep well. Maybe having lunch, having your big dinner at noon hour makes you sleep better. I mean, it all comes back to the 6 same tips, right? You don't need a watch or anything. Just follow those 6 tips, right?
With my CPAP machine, I've got one of those things that go on your finger. I've got a wrist blood pressure cuff.
Right.
I've got all the tools. I just don't have it in one thing that you wear on your watch, but I think my things are probably more accurate. And So I have not gone to getting a watch. I just maybe somewhere's down the road, if they can ever get it to do the blood check for diabetes, then I might consider it, but I don't think I'm going to until then.
Yep.
Carl, go
Dorothy
ahead.
has her hand up, by the way.
Who?
Dorothy? She's got her hand up.
Oh, okay. Dorothy, go ahead. And then I'll get to Carl.
Got a Garmin watch,
Mhm.
and I sync it with my iPhone every morning, and it tells me exactly how I slept. Whether it was deep sleep, light sleep, and then I can push a button on it, and it shows me how much movement. If I did the hoochie coochie dance and thrashed around all night, or if I just sat there like a rock. And it's been very, very accurate, and it sure as heck didn't cost what you paid.
Indeed, indeed.
And I've used one of them. This is my second or third one. I've
The
used,
Garmin makes some interesting watches. They just got a new one that's just come out. It's yeah, they make some good equipment.
Yeah, I have one of their GPSs, and I've used it for years. Very expensive,
Yeah.
but
We
very accurate.
I tend not to talk about Garmin because the big three, of course, are Apple, Samsung, and Fitbit. And the reason I talk about those three is the cardiac monitoring and the cardiac monitoring app, because those are the only three. Garmin doesn't do that. So those are the three that always stand in together. And those are generally because once you leave that, then you get like a lot of different watches, right? You've got, and even more and more that are coming on the market.
Now I've got a pacemaker, so I've got that little machine sitting on the nightstand too. So I don't worry about something on my wrist telling me that.
All right, Carl, go ahead.
I have a question about the watch.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on, Carl is next.
Carl is next, and then we'll get
to you.
Yeah, Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to give you a FY. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Sleep. I have a sleep apnea machine, as you know, but 4 years, and I bought this accessory to it. It's by ResMed, the same people make the sleep machine. I'm trying to show you a picture of it. And what it does, it works with your phone or tablet, and it connects to the internet, and they analyze your sleep. There's a microphone, and it listens to your sleeping patterns. And it's connected to the internet, and they use, analysis algorithm to analyze how well you sleep by listening to your sleeping. But it goes in conjunction with my ResMed sleep apnea BiPAP machine.
Cool.
I think it's like about $80 or something.
$80. Okay.
I used it for a while, but it was, in addition to the sleep apnea machine, it was just more information than I. It was just more information. It was okay. I was looking at the sleep apnea was the most important thing to me.
Right. Thanks, Carl. Who had the watch question?
Colleen, I think COL.
Colleen, go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, if you're outside walking where it's raining and slippery, or if you're in a shower where it's slippery, is that watch waterproof?
Yes, they're all waterproof. In fact, you can swim with them.
Okay.
Now, you have to remember that you have to be connected to your smartphone. So if you are swimming in the ocean or swimming in a pool and your smartphone is out in the car, right, it's unlikely it's going to connect to Bluetooth that far away.
I see. So you have to have, how many feet away does your phone have to be from you?
Well, that's a function of Bluetooth, and that's a function of how far your phone will be to be connected to a device, and that's directly related to Bluetooth and the technology.
Do you have to connect your phone to Bluetooth while you're walking in the rain or taking a shower in order for that to happen?
Yes. If you want the fall detection to work, then now that's not a big deal, because if your phone is in the house, generally it would be connected by Bluetooth. Will generally, but not always. If you have a big house, it won't work. But it depends on the size of your house. But generally your Bluetooth would be connected to your phone.
I measured my Bluetooth and it was 32 feet.
Yeah, it depends. It depends, where but it's a problem if your phone's in the garage in the car and you're upstairs in the shower, it's probably not going to be connected. And that is one of the huge problems. One of the things that I don't like about the falling technology. Also, I've played the video before on the fall detection, like the one that I said you should watch. I played that for you about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so you've all seen it. But you can go back and look at it again. The act of falling is very proprietaristic, and how you fall with the Apple Watch and how you fall with the Samsung Watch is quite a bit different, and what it's going to read. So I'm a bit nervous about the technology.
What happens if I left the icon Bluetooth in my settings on 24/7? What does that do as far as incoming calls, outgoing calls?
Nothing.
Nothing, but it wear down your battery.
It'll wear your battery down. Although a lot of people leave the Bluetooth on anyway because they're connected to other devices and stuff like that. So it's not an unusual thing to do. But it is, like Bob says, it is problematic in that not only does your watch have to be charged, but your phone has to be charged as well. Now, your phone could be sitting on a charger, but it has to be on, right? And that is a big problem with the Galaxy Watch 4 is it just takes forever to charge. And there was more articles this morning about it. That will be the Achilles tendon of the Galaxy Watch 4. Well, it is now 10:22. So I want to give everybody a bit of a break. If you want to come back and watch our premiere service, if you don't know where it is, just go to our website like I showed you and click the button. It'll take you right there. Thank you. Dorothy, can we handle your question next week, or do you have a real short one for us?
Oh, this is real short. I wear a fob around my neck that
Right.
is attached to my house alarm system.
I showed you that today in the video, the ADT. Yeah.
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 And so if I fall,
That's
I
right.
can push that button and
That's right.
fire departments.
Yes. And I think that's a much better system, actually. I
Yes,
think
do.
I think that's a much better and more reliable system
Yes.
than the, I agree with you.
Because it's monitored 24/7, 368 days
Absolutely.
a year.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
We will see you next week for another great show. Thanks a lot. And stay tuned for our next episode. And don't forget Tech for Senior Live on Thursday. Thursday. Bill,
And learning Chromebooks on Thursday.
Yeah, Ray, are you coming on Thursday?
Now that I've been invited, yes.
You're always
You better,
invited.
because I
Come
will
on.
not. I don't know yet if I'm going to be there.
All right. So
I may
there'll
not be.
be someone showing up on
Yep,
Thursday.
somebody will be there.
Somebody will be there. All right. All right then. Everyone have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye
coming.
bye.
Bye-bye.